Hello guys, this is Mohammed Shoaib. In the last lesson, we talked about and saw how we can create variables and data types. We also created a few variables using the sets of rules and the syntaxes. In this video, we'll be looking at the statements and assigning values and operations with statements. So without enough said, let's go ahead and start. So I'm going to click File and click a new project. And I'm going to call that Working with Statements. Well, let's just say using statements. Alright, that's it. And click OK. Type is a console application. Right now that we have that, so the first thing we're going to do is to create two variables. So a statement is a set of syntax. It's a command and it's a group of code, pieces of codes that carry out a specific action. So if you wanted to, let's say, create a program that displays the lists of members in a committee or meeting, you actually use a group of statements. So these are commands. A common example of a statement we've seen is the console.writeLine method. And every statement has a syntax. It ends with a semicolon. So yeah, we can just do this and say hello. Alright, so let's write a simple program to add two numbers together, and we'll be creating a group of statements to do so. So let's say a program that adds two numbers and stores the results. Now, when you want to add things or make calculations in C#, you use an assignment operators. We use assignment operators, and the most popular ones are the we use plus to add, use the minus to subtract. Subtract the same type of data from each other, like an int minus an int. We use the asterisk to multiply. If you use the x, it won't work. Use that to multiply, it won't work. So, and then we use the slash to divide. And there is also the not so popular operator. It's called the modulus. And what this does is gives you a reminder of your results. So if you divide 2 by 2 using the modulus operator, you'll get a 0 because that's what remains. That's the reminder of dividing 2 by 2. Alright, so what we're going to do now is to declare two variables. So I'm going to say int, use of integer type. I'm going to call it a first number. I'm going to assign a value of let's say 34. I'm going to create another statement and say int second number. I'm going to assign a value of let's say 44. You assign a value using the equal sign, right? That's how you assign a value. This is a variable called a first number. It is of type integer and it has a memory size of 34. So what I'm going to do now is to create the addition, another variable called int addition, and it's going to store the value of the first number plus the second number. So that's what I'm doing right now. So to quickly go ahead and create the multiplication, the subtraction, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to say I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to change this to subtraction. I'm going to change this to multiplication, and I'm going to divide the first value by the second value. And equally, I'm going to change this to subtraction. I'm going to change this to multiplication, and I'm going to change this to division. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and save that. And next thing I'm going to do is to display the content. Now I'm going to be introducing a new way to display your output, and it's called a format specifier. Right, and to do that, in the writeLine method, you use these curly braces, these squiggly looking braces, and it always assigns a value to the first expression that you've created. So this is an expression because we're adding a value and we're using the assignment operator. So the compiler is going to give this an index for the format specifier of 0. It's going to be an index of format specifier of 1. It's going to be an index, sorry about that, be of 2, and it's going to have an index of 3. So remember, this is the first, second, third, and the fourth. And I'm going to show you how to use the format specifier. It's a very nice way to display your output. So I'm going to say console dot writeLine. Actually, the difference between write and writeLine is that write is going to just write out the single output, but writeLine is going to write the entire line output of your code. So if you use write or writeLine, it's going to be the same, but if you want the entire line, you're going to use the writeLine method. So first thing I'm going to say is I'm going to do is this. I'm going to put the output first. I'm going to say 0. So the compiler is going to know, hey, I want to use the output of the addition. And so you tell it by doing a comma and saying addition. Right? So let's go ahead and run the program. So I like using start without debugging, but we can go ahead and click F5 to run and build the application. So I'm going to click F5 and just wait for the application to build. I'm going to go ahead and just duck the console output. It says hello and disappears. So in order to stop it from doing that, we're going to say a console dot readline. This is going to let us wait before we actually press something before the application exits. So I'm going to press F5 again. So it says 78, which is it's just picking the sum of these two values, right? So if you want to see that more clearly, you can go to properties. We can just turn this to let's say 28, so we can just see the font size much more clearer. So that's the output. But what I like to do is to go to start without debugging. So you can just press the start without debugging option, and you can just get your results out. Alright, nice. So to do this properly, we're going to say, because this is a format specifier, we can say the results for the addition is, well, let's see, equals, then it's going to pick the results for the addition. So let's go ahead and save that, and let's run it again real quick. So it says the results for the addition equals 78, which is a cleaner way to display your output. So let me fix this right quick, because that's an error. So quickly, I'm going to do the next one. So I'm going to copy this entire piece of code, Control C, and then paste that. So you're going to see the results for the subtraction is, let's go to the first one. We haven't done for the division. So I'm going to say int division equals first number divided by the and notice anytime you create a variable, the compiler knows of that local variable and it's going to give you a shortcut. So you can just click on that and then voila, like magic, you have that. So it's going to be like the fourth We actually have it there. What is wrong with me? Okay, let's just take this back up. Alright, good. You know, just the little space made me confused out there. I didn't see it. Like that's kind of like weird. So the subtraction is this. So let's go ahead and just add for the multiplication. Remember, for the multiplication, if the index is 2, it's simply because it's the second one, right? So this is 0, 1, 2. And then finally we have the results for the division. Equals this. So I'm going to say comma, subtraction, and comma, multiplication, and comma, division. Now the reason why we're seeing this return icon is because the screen isn't, it's not large enough. So if I just take this down, 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 everything's going to be on a single line, but because we won't see it properly, that is why I decided to use that. So yeah, and I pump it up a little big. You can hold the oh, sorry, my office is popping up telling me to upgrade. So let's just zoom this out. Zoom back in a little bit so we can like see it more clearly. So to zoom in and out, you can hold down Control and use the mouse wheel. That's what I'm using, the mouse wheel, to just scroll in and scroll out, so we can see the code more clearly. Or you can click the drop down icon right here. You can set it to 100% or set it to 150, or you can click on it and say, let's say 125, to set our own custom, output. So let's go ahead and save this and then run the application and see what results we get. So you notice everything is on a single line, which is terrible. It's so ugly. So what I'm going to do is to create a /n, which will tell the compiler, you know what, put this results on a new line. So I'm going to say /n, another /n, because I want it all in a new line, and /n. This is going to be on a single line, but we don't need to do that for it, so I'm going to save and then quickly run the application. So it says the results for the addition is this, multiplication is that, division is this. So which is great. Now you notice when we did the division, it just says oh, wait a minute. Okay, we have a problem here. We know that the addition is this, but why is the results for the division giving us 78? That's not possible. So let's see. Good. So why is it giving us? Ah, good. So this is where the error is coming from. I used the format specifier for the addition, not for the division. The division's format specifier location is index 3. So I'm just put that 3 right here, and then click save, and then run the application. If you want to use start without debugging, you can use Control F5 to run the application. So now it says the results for the division equals 0. But we all know that 34 divided by 44 is not 0. We're supposed to have a decimal, decimal fraction. So let's go ahead and change this into a double data type to see if we divide this, we're going to have indeed have that value. So the first thing I want to do is to create a multi-line comment. I'm going to say slash asterisk slash. So in between, that's when you can keep, when you have a multiple statements. So I'm going to copy this entire code, I'm going to cut, and I'm going to paste it down here. So I'm going to go to the next line. I'm going to change this to a double value. I'm going to comment all these out. Sorry, excuse me. I'm going to comment all these out. So I'm going to change this both to double. Let's say double, and say double, and I'm going to bring up the division. I'm going to say double division. Now, because I've commented everything out, the first assignment is going to have an index of 0. That's the first one, because I commented everything out. This is the only one I left out. So I'm going to just display the output. I'm going to say console dot write line, like that. I'm going to say the results is, I'm going to put that format specifier. I'm say comma, alright, good. So with that done, we're going to save the program. I'm going to say Control F5 just to build without debugging, and it says the result is 0.77272727. There's a lot of 27s, and then finally a 3, and it says hello. So why is it doing the hello? We must have had hello somewhere else, and we haven't commented out. Oh, there it is. So we haven't commented out the hello. So that's it for this lesson, guys. So the statements are a group of commands you write sequentially. So let me just uncomment this out. So these are all statements, and statements end with a column, semicolon syntax, like that. The reason why I'm having this error is because I have specified change the data type, and it's not seeing it. So that's why. So let's get rid of the multi-line comment, and this one, like that. And then I'm going to change this back to int, or else we're going to have a compiler error right here. And integer. And I'm going to comment this out. So when you comment out a piece of code, the compiler ignores it. So if I say hello, the compiler is going to say, what is this? I don't know what this is. This is an error. But if I comment it out, it leaves it out. So you use comments to tell people about your program and write information, and so that your program becomes much more readable. For instance, I can say, so right here I said declare two variables, and here creating the assigning operators right here, because I'm assigning these two values and adding them up together using the plus sign. Alright guys, a good way to display your results is to use a format specifier. It makes life much more easier for you, and I'll be using format specifiers all through the course. So thank you very much for watching, girls and guys. I'll see you in the next video, where I'll be showing you how to create methods. So sometimes when you have a group of statements, your program begins to get messy and cluggy, but when you have some methods in your program, you can easily group things together, and you can call methods separately from other sections of your program. So with that enough said, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.